ways is something that I put in almost all my sessions. It's so simple that people think it's magical. So there is no fairy dust, no magic involved, nothing up my sleeves. This is pure business logic. It's what we call the business chassis. Everything that we do in Action Coach is based around this business chassis. And you're going to see its simplicity is what sometimes causes people to not do it. Did you know that the Ford Contour and the Jaguar share the exact same chassis? I can do the example with the first Porsche. The first Porsche was actually a Beetle. Same chassis. Same engine. So what? Who's the smartest buyer, by the way, in this one, in your mind? The top one is 60 grand, the bottom one is 20 grand. Who's the smartest buyer? Yeah. Well, he doesn't get to bling bling his car, though. I mean, he might get less, people coming in his car, but he's made the best purchase. It depends who you are. It depends why you bought the car. If you bought the car to attract women, you need the top one. If you attract the car to drive your kids, right, the other one. It's a question of why you made this purchase. It's that simple. Okay? But when we talk about chassis, they're identical. So if they're identical and you think of yourself as a business, these are two businesses, why can't you get yours to the top level? There's nothing preventing you. So I'm going to show you the 5 ways behind this chassis. The challenge I have when I work with clients is that they typically know about customers, revenue, and profit. And the only thing that the important pieces are the red ones. And when I ask them, so how many do you have? What's your numbers? Sometimes they get them. Sometimes they confuse revenue and profit. You do understand this does not impress me. If you make $1 million, but you bring home nothing, that's not impressive. The challenge is the reds are actually not interesting. What's interesting is how you get to the reds. So the 5 ways are the 5 blue things that we have on the picture. So number of leads. Who knows their number of leads right now off the top of their heads? Got one in the room. That's good. I know that I just acquired 375. I've got 673 plus my 300. I know exactly how many leads I have in my system at any given point. Conversion rate. Who knows their conversion rate? Okay. You're going to keep your hand up the whole time. So we've got a good student in the room. Conversion rate, right? You have to test this. You have to know, every time a client comes in, every time a prospect comes in, how many actually become a client? For me, it's simple. Every time I do a workshop or something, I do my conversion rate and I know exactly how many clients start with me. That gives me my number of customers. Pay very attention. We're going to use this in our 90-day plan. Number of transaction, remember the hairdresser 4 times a year. Average sale, this is important because if you have a lot of products or services, you need to be able to still figure out which ones are your good products, cash cows, which ones are your lost leaders, and then we can do a matrix together to start identifying your ABCD products, and you'd be surprised that one of the things I do in coaching is I tell you 2 things. Increase your prices, drop these customers. What? Increase your prices, don't discount, lose customers. The ones that call you and waste your time all day long and make you no money. 2, look at your product. Let's do a matrix. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, keep them. C, D, look at how many times they stay on your inventory, or look at what it costs you to do that. Get rid of them. When I coach, I do nothing. You gotta understand this. I do nothing. I only bring 2 things. Knowledge at the right time and accountability. That's all I do. You do all the work. It's your company. Make sense? But I need to share with you the little tricks so that you go, well, I'll play with that one in the next 90 days. But I'm not ready for that one. I'll do that one in the next planning session. So be careful. Don't walk out of here trying to do 50 things. If you sign up for 2 or 3, that's good. That's probably more that you would have done in the next 90 days anyways, because you don't have a plan. Okay? Gets us to our revenue. Then key piece, understanding our profit margins, which gets you to our profit. So far I haven't lost anyone. This makes total sense. Let's put some numbers behind this. Let's assume you got 4,000 leads at a 25% conversion rate, gives you 1,000 customers. Are we good with the math? I promise you there's no funny math. Take your calculator, we'll be fine. Number of transactions per customers, we're going to go for 2. Average sales 100, gives us a revenue of 200,000. So far so good. Profit margin, we'll stick with an easy 25, which will give us 50 grand. All the numbers are right. You understand how I got to the last number. Let's look at this chassis, right? And what we suggest is what if we were able to increase each of the 5 levers by 10%? Only 10%. I've already given you one trick. Increase your prices immediately by 10%. Now be careful. If you've increased them last week, don't do that. Most of you, I'll ask, hey, when's the last time I never increased my prices. I'm going to lose my clients. Okay, I can fix one of the 5 levers immediately. Increase it by 10%. Peter Jungle down the road. I promise you, I went there, the waiter stopped and said, you know what, you want to order quickly. They're going to increase everything by 10%. And I heard 10%, I'm like, really? Now I was interested, right? What was interesting is the waiter was like trying to get a good tip. He was like, you know, it's not fair that they upped the prices, it's not right. And, and I'm like, no, it's actually ingenious. No one's going to notice it. And by the way, your sandwiches are very healthy. They're wise health. Increasing by 10%, who cares? They're $6. That's just a little bit more than a McDonald's, and I'm getting great food. I went back a couple weeks ago. They've hiked everything by 10%. Do you think there's less people there?
No.
No. There's 2 competitors that just opened. Mellow Mushroom, I'm going this afternoon. Has anyone tried Mellow Mushroom today? It opened Monday. I'm going this afternoon. 2 competitors opened right next door. They hiked their prices before they opened their doors. Why? Because they're smart. They think about the levers that they have. So one of them I've already told you. So your average sell, that's an easy one. Increase 10%. Done. Okay? Let's increase everything by 10 and see what happens. So by 10%, 4,400, 27.5 gives us 1210. Some people that were good in math so far are going to see that those multipliers make a big deal in this equation. Let's make our transaction 2.2. That's, hey, would you like a burger with fries? Right? That's all this one is, right? It's the ability to attach stuff to your services. This is your 10% increase of your price. You don't do it all the time. You do it once in a while. Peter Jungle will probably do it once every year or 2 years. Then it brings you your revenue for this. Do you already see the number right here? This is a 40% increase. I'm not done, because remember, revenue is not interesting. We are now at a 61% increase. The reason the 5-way is going to be critical in your planning is you're going to put goals around each of those 5 levers. That's what we're going to do in our 90 days. I've just showed you, 5 minutes, right? That the chassis is at the core of running your business. And I've given you the 5 most important levers to grow your profits. All we have to do now is put 90-day plans that match those 5 areas and start doing it. It's that simple. Everyone good? I promise I'm going fast because we have limited time. But, so the numbers, and I'll go back to numbers so you see them. Revenue 46%, profit 61. It's that simple. If you look back at the numbers, it was right here. Anyone wants to contest the math? I already told you how to do this one. Then I told you about the fries here. This is mostly a question of tracking it first, and then figuring out how to adjust your marketing. Number of leads, well, it really depends, right? It's again tracking, but it's also how you purchase them. I purchase them very differently. And then your profit margins, getting rid of your products. I've given you a whole bunch of, I hope I have the slides. If I don't, you know what? I'll show you a whole bunch of slides that show you 350 strategies that you can use to increase those things. I don't know if I have them in this presentation, but I'll find it for you guys. Oh, I don't want to show you this yet. Okay. What if? Because Hillary told me this is a crazy bunch this morning. This is a black belt bunch, right? So let's go completely nuts this morning. I, as a coach, try to do little things. 10%, I'm comfortable. In 3 months, no problem. You'll increase your profits by 61%. By the way, I always find my fee as a coach, so that's the easy thing. How about we go nuts and raise all of them by 100%? Remember, same company. Did you see the number at the bottom? Now, this is just for fun, guys. But over a period of 10 years, 10% the first year, 10% the second one, 10%, you do understand, you can, this is the little Ford Contour we're talking about. Forget the Jaguar, we're driving a Lamborghini now. Right? We've replaced the whole chassis. So that's why we're going to focus around those 5 ways. Fair enough? Any questions, concerns so far? I felt that the dynamics behind the 90-day plan was very important. If you don't get the mechanics behind how we're going to do our plans, then it'll fail, because you'll just put in numbers in there and you won't know why you're doing it.